Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. Here we are, the penultimate episode of Babylon 5's first season, episode 21, The Quality of Mercy. I cannot believe we are already here, but friends, know this. I am incredibly excited to see where this tale goes. It is quickly becoming one of my favorites of all time. If you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to board Babylon 5. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, Babylon 5 included, the link to our Patreon is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon? Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time for the penultimate episode of Babylon 5's first season, episode 21, The Quality of Mercy. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And for the second to last time this season, away we go! Right into it.
Yes, I understand, but it's not an easy process. Very few here are as trusting as I am.
Ambassador.
But
Ambassador.
I'm sure the Emperor will be pleased by any progress you make in this area. I'll be in touch.
That means
touch
the Emperor will know if you don't make progress.
this.
Touch this.
You know, it occurs to me, we haven't spent much time together, you and I. I hardly know anything about you.
I love it.
From birth, I was raised in the temple and studied the ways of the religious caste. 6 months ago, I came here. There is nothing else.
Liar.
Most unfortunate. Well, good day.
Excuse me, Ambassador. Why do you say unfortunate?
Well,
No experiences, bud.
I've been doing quite a bit of reading since my arrival.
reading?
Yes.
Reading is no substitute for experience.
Oh, God.
What? It is an imposition on my busy schedule.
But I'll take you to the casino.
I will show you the Babylon 5 that I know. You will find it a revelation of the highest order.
I don't know, Ambassador.
Oh, come on.
Dear friend, trust me.
Good dear friend is a preamble to bullshit when it comes to Londo.
You were charged with the calculated and unprovoked murder of 2 of this station's residents, as well as the brutal and senseless slaying of a security officer.
Wow.
In light of that evidence, this court finds you guilty of murder in the 1st degree.
Look at that smile.
It was the dawn of...
We're in the credits. That is the guy, the actor that was just charged as the killer. What's his name? Drake. He was the other heavy machine gunner in Aliens opposite Vasquez. He, if you haven't seen Aliens, I don't want to spoil anything, but he doesn't make it too long into it. In fact, makes it out of the original hive, and then he gets hit with the acid right when they're closing the door. Vasquez screams. I'm pretty sure it's Drake. Gotta watch that, and even though I've seen Aliens, I'd like to watch it now with the context of having seen Alien for the first time in the past year. But I can't wait to see this guy again. He's pretty cool.
of the Babylon stations. The year is 2258. The name of the place is
Babylon 5. Chills every time, chills. We haven't seen Veer. There's a couple people we haven't seen in forever. We haven't seen Jakar in forever. We haven't seen Veer, Natoth. Talia Winters has been gone like MIA without that brief little moment she came back for like the most of the season. It's unreal. I love it though because, you know, JMS is only telling the story with the characters that he needs. There's no fluff. You know, we're not that... I always like to hear about the other people, but it's really, really cool way to tell a story. To the heart.
I'd like to see the doctor. The line forms at the rear. I'm sure it does.
All right, there you go. Take 2 every 12 hours for the pain.
What you doing, Franklin? A little pro bono?
Start by removing your clothes.
And not without dinner and flowers.
Oh, Lieutenant Commander. What are you doing down here?
What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing.
Just doing my job.
Your job as chief of staff for the med lab facility.
No, my job is healing people.
Yeah, that's his job.
I don't mind if you bend the rules a little, Doctor. I mean, I bend a few myself. But I do like to be informed.
Yeah, she's just saying let her know.
You can start by taking off your jacket. There's a sink in the back. You can wash your hands and...
I am not a doctor.
No, but I'm sure we can find something for you to do.
You thought this was your your off shift. Nope.
And I say we space the creep. A couple hours at hard...
Oh, well, there's Talia.
If you don't mind my saying so, Mr. Garibaldi, you seem to be taking this very personally.
Damn straight.
Killed one of his guys.
He's done this before. I'd bet good money he's done this a lot.
But you have no evidence to that effect.
Talia could get it.
And that brings us back to you, Miss Winters.
I don't want to do this again. I was inside a killer's mind before, on the Mars colony.
Ooh.
The Corps promised to send someone as soon as they can. Unfortunately, there's a shortage of telepaths trained in criminal cases.
Why? Seems like there'd be a lot of demand for that.
Yeah, that'd be the big thing.
Just not much motivation.
Oh, nobody wants to.
Scanning along those lines violates the right of due process. Anything a telepath sees whilst inside a defendant's mind is inadmissible evidence. Take the guilty verdict and be grateful, Mr. Garibaldi.
I like this guy. He's a cool character.
I'm prepared to pass sentence, and I need your help to monitor the process. Can I count on you?
Plus, we're not sure just how juiced up Talia is ever since Ironheart. I mean...
Should be around here somewhere.
It's right over there. What do you want with her?
Well, I've been hearing about some kind of quack practicing medicine without a license.
You're talking to the quack.
How will I know if it worked?
Well, you'll know. My treatments never fail. Well, that should do it.
Never mind.
Hello, Doctor. I wondered how long it would take you to pay me a visit. One healer to another.
Took me a while to notice the drop in patients. This is,
Alien. Yes.
What's it do?
It restores, renews, invigorates. It's good for ailments of the flesh, the blood, and the bone.
Well, you have quite an operation here. Ms. Rosen, does the term con job ring a bell?
Doctor, my mother isn't hurting anyone.
Yes, she is, if she's discouraging people from seeking proper treatment.
Don't like the competition, Doctor?
I have a problem with fraud.
Well, you're not really sure, Franklin.
Do you have anything to say before sentence is passed?
Stroke off.
Well,
I cannot sentence you to death.
he knows that.
You will be conveyed under guard to a med lab facility, where you will be telepathically scanned and then brain wiped. The personality of Carl Edward Mueller will be totally and completely erased.
Wow.
I'll have to check the equipment, make sure the process is painless.
Do me a favor. Don't check too close. If there's a little pain, I won't mind.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Look, he iced one of my best men.
Yeah, come on, man.
I need some information on a woman by the name of Laura Rosen. She's running a questionable operation in down below.
Illegal?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'll have it for you in an hour.
Mike lives for this shit. A mystery. Oh my God. I knew they'd be going to the a bar or... Oh, of course, yes.
Lennier, this way.
This poor kid's been sheltered, we think, sheltered his whole life in the religious caste system or order. Or...
The thing you must remember here is
Oh, I didn't bring my money.
Yes, I did, but my allowance is very small.
Oh, no, don't apologize. We'll make do.
We'll make do. It doesn't matter that I'm going to spend all of it.
Lennier.
There's no alcohol in here, is there?
Of course not.
Even a small quantity causes psychotic impulses and violent homicidal rages.
Mirtana, just water for him, thank you.
I'll take that other drink then. Poor Lennier. He's like, why can't I just go back and work on the bike? I could tune it up.
According to the station registry, your mother was a doctor. A real doctor.
Really? Who's to say she's not one still, dude?
She worked days, nights, weekends. She could never keep up with it all, so she started taking stims to stay up nights, working. Until one day she made a mistake. Someone died.
I knew that was coming.
Then one day she decided that if she could find some new alien healing technology, she could come back, vindicated.
Where did she find this thing, though?
For the first time, I see hope in her eyes.
Janice, her machine doesn't work.
How do you know? Have you tested it? Examined it?
No.
Have you checked the patients?
She's a healer again, and that's all that matters. Please don't try and take that away from her, because if you do, I'll fight you. And I'll win.
Well, I mean, the easiest way to figure this out is to go to one of her patients that claimed that were healed or whatever and see.
For instance, it can mean sand, father, boot.
Really? That's astonishing.
It's astonishing.
After my 11th year, I
11th.
and I began to specialize in probability.
Probability? As in determining the odds of something happening?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, dear God, he's going to take it. Now's the casino.
My dear good friend Lennier, I want to introduce you to the ultimate means of interstellar understanding.
The casino.
Poker.
Now all I want to see is a table of poker with Lennier, Londo, Jakar, Delenn, Sinclair, Mike, Susan, everybody. Not her. Can't play with her. Talia, this is gonna suck.
I'm here to perform the court-ordered scan prior to brain wipe. I can produce the order if you want to see it.
So, take away my thoughts, my memories, everything that makes me me, so they can put me to work for the rest of my life, mopping floors, cleaning toilets.
Mr. Mueller, if you continue this, I will have to ask the guards to restrain you.
Let's hope this guy's not trained or this is what he's expecting this, because this could go real bad. And they're not going to show us? Just the surface level? I like it.
Another voice for the choir.
Another voice plus the 2 lurkers you killed.
No. And more. And more. And more.
Ah, so he's killed quite a bit.
I have to keep adding voices until the choir is big enough to sing me into heaven when I die. It's necessary. Don't you see?
This guy's doing a great job. Super creepy.
No.
I like this character.
Stay. Stay for the symphony.
Stay for the choir,
We'll save
baby.
a place for you.
Whoo! Damn, I like that character.
You sure these are the same patients who've been going to see Rosa?
Absolutely. Why?
They're all healed. We gotta find out what that machine really does.
Interesting. Do you know that the odds of this particular combination are 5,000 to 1 against?
Fold, fold, fold.
Does that mean I've won again?
It means you have won 1/10 of what you could have won if you had
Kept your shit about you.
Pay no attention to him. He's from out of town.
He's from out of town. Hey, you're winning.
If it isn't completely gone, come back in a week and we'll see what we can do.
I will.
I know that actress, the dark-haired actress, too. Damn, they have a lot of people in the show.
It looks as though I was wrong. This device of yours is more than what it seems. It does heal, doesn't it?
That's what I said, isn't it?
She knows what she's doing. She's giving her life to them. It's a transference.
It transfers energy from one being to another, doesn't it? You give up a little of your life for someone else.
Wow.
Criminals who were sentenced to death on different worlds had their life energy removed. And that energy was used to heal others dying of terminal illness.
Amazing.
It's killing you by inches.
You don't understand. I'm dying anyway.
Oh.
Why did you let me think that you were just a crank?
Because telling you the truth would have meant telling Janice how it affects me. She wouldn't understand. She'd stop me.
Yeah.
She loves me very much, it seems. God knows why. I'll make a deal with you. If anything should happen to me before I finish,
You get the machine.
you'll find my notes quite complete. On one condition, Janice is to know nothing.
I want to be able to monitor your condition. And I reserve the right to intervene if you start to push yourself too far too fast.
Done.
It's a week, starting on Monday. Until then, doctor.
Oh, I love that, man. Man, is Franklin growing on me. So at some point, Franklin's getting this machine. I love these spots. I love inside the spinning metal.
Are you okay?
No, not really.
This is why they get burned out.
You said earlier that you would bet good money that he had killed before. You would not have lost.
I have such sympathy for her. That must be a terrible burden.
I raise you 3.
The hell was that?
3.
The hell was that?
Oh, is it to me?
Yes.
I'll raise a red.
Red. I have those.
I have those. At some point, everybody's going to catch wise, and I'm guessing it's going to be the alien at the table that takes a swing at Londo. Or Lennier. Lennier will probably catch a stray. Mike's like, we're going to the airlock instead. Oh,
Going down,
Welsh.
Chief?
Nah, heading up, Luke.
Oh!
Garibaldi to maintenance. Head back to security, work your way down to the next level. This is a priority override. Kill transport tube number 7. Kill it now!
Boom. It's not Welsh, it's Welch, right?
It's 2 to you.
You're gonna get caught here, Londo.
3.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
Actually, the temperature appears to be quite moderate.
That's part of him? What's going on?
No.
What? What?
I'll just take my winnings.
I think not. We'll go now.
Or
This is not good.
Lennier absolutely kicking ass.
He's gonna need medical attention fast.
Well, if he comes here, we'll take him.
If he comes here. You say he got off at a down below sector?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
Rose, if a man shows up down there with a PPG wound...
He's going to Dr. Rosen.
Nora? Ms. Rosen, it's Dr. Franklin.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Come in, Doctor. You're just in time. We're almost finished here.
You all right, Laura?
It's gonna kill her.
You promised you'd let her go if I helped you.
It seems such a waste, though, does it not?
Then I refuse to continue.
You all finished the job, but she dies now.
It's gonna kill her.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's better.
Can you reverse it the other way? What the fuck?
Stay. Or my next shot will not miss.
You won't miss. We have no other choice.
No.
What are you doing? Stop it! Oh,
Franklin, do something, dude.
That's Lake's syndrome. A pain almost too much to imagine.
Good.
You threatened my daughter. You'll never hurt anyone again. Do you hear me? You'll never hurt anyone again.
Damn, I love this character.
He's dead.
Good. Fuck that guy. I love her character, too.
It is the judgment of this court that Laura Rosen acted in self-defense.
I mean, no shit.
Therefore, no charges will be pressed, and she is free to leave on her own recognizance.
She is a hero, too, by the way.
The device used in this action is turned over to station personnel so that it may be researched more fully and to ensure.
Jesus.
Court is adjourned.
He hit that with the flat side of the gavel. Anybody else see that?
Are you all right?
I've taken a life in direct violation of my oath as a doctor.
No, you saved 3 lives.
I'm free from Lake syndrome. They say I may live another 20 or 30 years. but I do so at the expense of a man's life. I did the necessary thing. That is not always the same as the right thing.
Well,
You'd arrest 30 humans and aliens, 2 of whom refused to identify themselves?
Yeah, I was just on my way to look into it. I've been a little busy.
Well, I can save you the time. We've identified the 2 culprits.
Really? Who are they?
You're gonna love this.
I'm still waiting for an explanation, gentlemen.
It's the first time we've seen Sinclair.
I asked Ambassador Malari to help me learn about the parts of the station I had not previously seen. I was unfamiliar with the rules of conduct in these places, and through error, created a fence.
Sinclair went right through that bullshit.
Diplomatic privilege means you cannot be charged for the events that transpired, but I must insist on payment of damages to the club.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Jeff's like, you're gonna let this kid be the fall guy? All right, Londo. But you just made a friend in Londo.
In Minbari culture, we are taught that it is an honor to help another save face.
But the Len.
We'll know better.
Lennier.
You madcap.
If you ever need anything from me.
There is one thing. When we were at the gaming table, somehow a part of you reached out for the cards.
Yes.
What was that?
Did you think these were just decorations?
I'm going to take a vow of silence concerning this entire conversation.
So they have like tentacles?
They are a strange people. But they're okay.
But they're okay.
And who knows, it might be able to preserve someone's life when nothing else works. Volunteers who can donate a little life energy the way people used to donate blood.
It's awesome.
Through no desire of my own, I have been granted a second lease on life. Somewhere out there is what I need to redeem myself.
You don't need to.
Yes, I do. Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Laura. And for what it's worth, I hope you find what you're looking for.
I mean, couldn't Franklin maybe, vouch for her, get her at least an appeal in that license thing?
Is that dinner invitation still open?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still open. 7, Zocalo.
Awesome. A little slice of life episode with a serial killer. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the penultimate episode of Babylon 5's first season, episode 21, The Quality of Mercy. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished watching The Quality of Mercy, the 21st episode and penultimate episode of Babylon 5's first season. It was a slice of life type of episode, you know what I mean? Like I said, with a serial killer. But the thing, I guess my real reason for calling it like a slice of life is we really got into a lot of different characters and kind of like in their own environment type of things. I look at this in a way very similar to whenever we had TKO and we had a chance to when Walker Smith came, we really got into like Mike a little bit. We saw how kind of like the laborers or like the blue collar people among the different races, how they lived, we didn't have any of the higher ups. It was surface level stuff. And I think we had a lot of that in this one too. In fact, like I said, oh my God, that's Jeff's first like pop up in this episode was at almost the very end. He had a 1 or 2 minute scene, and that was that. Same thing with Susan. Susan was in the beginning and in the middle, or the beginning and the end, talking about this particular, the clinic that wasn't operational and then kind of spilling the beans on Londo and Lennier. I thought that was a really, really interesting way to, again, kind of check out Babylon 5. I mean, I think that the biggest takeaway here is, the experiences that Talia went through going into the mind of a killer, just as sort of like a, hey, this might come back later type of thing. Like we know that how tough this is on her. Like we know, like, we're experiencing now, we get multiple examples of what it's like for these telepaths to go into minds, especially dark ones. And seeing what she saw when she went into the killer's mind was, Mueller went into Mueller's mind was, awful. And to think that that's asked over and over and over again, or similar things go into these minds. Like she said, some alien, strange minds I didn't think I was going to make it out of. What a terrifying prospect, to be doing what you do and be a telepath engaged in a scan of an alien mind and think to yourself, oh my God, I might not be able to make it back out of this. It's a crazy way to kind of like look at it, but again, it's a really interesting description of what she goes through. Like this is the process that's very foreign to us. I mean, hey, surprise, I'm not a telepath, but again, having JMS explain it to us like this, I think in little bits and bites. It's not like, hey everybody, sit down. This episode's all about how and what it is to be a telepath. We've had episodes that have dealt strongly with telepathy, with Ironheart and all that stuff. But again, it hasn't been, we haven't been given the full story. And now we're starting to get it like sentence by sentence. The other thing I like quite a bit, seeing these characters and developing, understanding now Franklin has a free clinic down in the, what is assumed to be, like the poorer sections of Babylon 5. I thought that Laura, what's her name, Rosen, was awesome. I thought that she was a great character. I thought the device was very interesting. That's something that's almost like a get out of jail free card. You know what I mean? Because if you have somebody, we have to keep that. I have a huge asterisk to put to my like potential MacGuffin type of. I have a list, guys. Things that might come out, like items that might pop back up at a later date. Items of note or physical items, or anything that might be a noteworthy type of thing from a place or a person. I keep all that stuff there, thinking okay, maybe one of these will be used, or if we're in a situation, what one of these could be used, and then kind of see if they use them. And knowing JMS, he'll come up with something much better than anything I could guess at. So therein lies the rub for a beautiful story to, begin to unfold. Great, great stuff. But, I'm thinking to myself, what if we lose? Like, what if Sinclair would get he's dying, or Ivanova, or Franklin himself, like we can't lose the doc, or something like that, or a diplomat like or Delenn, or Jakar, or somebody like some high-ranking person, really needed to be saved. Or it was just we need to save somebody, and we have a situation similar to Rosen where somebody's dying, and they're like, well, you know what, I'm dying. I'm only going to be here for another week or two or something like that. I'll give the rest of my life to save that person. We've got an option now in the face of death, which is crazy. Now, what I thought she was doing is I thought she had kind of reversed the polarity of that and was draining his life and storing it in the machine. But then I realized you probably can't do that. It's probably a transference in real time. It's not like it has a battery or something like that. I mean, it might, but that wasn't explained. Both people were hooked up. So it certainly seems like the transference has to be kind of in the moment, reciprocated, drawn from and immediately kind of bled into whoever the recipient is. Really cool, especially since it's we had that parallel, how do you deal with a violent criminal, a mass murderer, and they didn't really have a viable option on Babylon 5. And it just so happens that this culture, this alien culture where she received the device, had something very interesting as their solution for corporal punishment. Again, the death penalty, actually the corporal punishment, but it's just another beat in a fantastic song that is being composed by JMS, because I've never heard of anything like that. I'm not saying that I'm worldly, or especially with science fiction, I thought I was okay, and it turns out I'm a complete poser and novice. But I've not heard of anything like that machine. It's a really cool idea. Something that I certainly think will be would be revisited, because that is a really, really strong power. I mean, the more I think about it, the more it sort of puts me back on my heels. Our characters now in the, I'm assuming the command crew of Babylon 5, now has essentially a resurrection machine. And it's not true resurrection. I'm sure if somebody's dead, you can't put life into them, but that's not off the table. We didn't really hear about that. I would certainly think that could be something that could at least be tried. Okay, somebody's dead. Can I put a little life into him to bring him back and then heal him kind of naturally, or the old-fashioned way after that? Who knows, Interesting stuff. Boy, that is really going to be I hope they get back to it. I hope they get back to that plot point because I want to see there's a lot of morality that goes into that. There's a lot of questions that these characters could start asking themselves if they had to use a machine like that. And, you know, Franklin's a good one to have it in the possession because Franklin asks those questions. You know, Franklin's skeptical to begin with. You know, he's sort of a dick, but I really, really enjoy his character. He was tempered in this one. He came in a little hot against Rosen, but then he realized, okay, well, you know, obviously she's right. She's doing the right thing. I effed up. He apologized, you know. I don't know, man. The characters come off as, you know, they have one kind of presentation when we first met them. And just like the greatest characters that we've ever read or watched, they begin to develop and go in different places, ways that you've never seen before. Which leads me to Londo and Lennier. Lennier is quickly becoming one of my favorite faces to see pop up. You know what I mean? Like when you see him walking, you're like, oh shit, Lennier, here he is, you know? Really great stuff. I didn't think it could get any better than the Mike and Lennier building the motorcycle and then riding it down the main dragway. Awesome stuff. But, you know, and I still think that was my favorite interaction, even though the Londo one was really good. But here comes Lennier. Here comes this sumbitch. Lennier, you know, oh, I've been in a, you know, I was in a basically a monastic kind of, you know, grew up in this type of environment, you know, devoted my life to the religious caste. And then I came here and that's the end of my life. He's like, oh, I don't know much about you, Lennier. And he was like, oh yeah, well, I was born, I went to this thing and then I came here. That's it. You heard it all. And that is bullshit because I call bullshit on somebody that says, oh, you know, I'm nothing special. I think it's very special, his upbringing, but, you know, it's not nothing special. It's, you know, oh, just don't worry. It was just boring. It's just a boring backstory in life. There's nothing special in there. Now, come on. This is Babylon 5, my friend. Hey, nobody on this station is as they seem. So, Lennier, as soon as you busted out the full-on martial arts, I knew we were into something. And of course you could say, oh, you know, you learn martial arts to steady the mind. That's his upbringing. Sure, it all fits the backstory that he gave. Sure. I'm still watching you, Lennier. You seem to be making a lot of inroads with very different, you know, with the humans and Mike, now with the Centauri and Londo. Londo owes you a favor, he says. If you ever need anything, Mike's obviously, you know, not necessarily owes you a debt, but definitely very friendly towards you. Ooh, Lennier, it looks like you might be working some angles, my friend, which is a great thing. And of course, I'm sure Lennier is probably just exactly as he seems. You know, he's the red herring that I'm going to bite on, you know, but again, the idea that he could be something more is there's not a 0% chance that he isn't something more. And it's just so great to speculate. It's just so great to think and wish and hope and wonder, no matter what I come up with, no matter what harebrained, paranoid theory that my murder board and Red Yarn come up with, JMS is going to say, "Aw, isn't that a cute little storyline? Now let me show you what I got." Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to go live with some Babylon 5. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon? Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to say goodbye from Babylon 5. So where should we say goodbye from? Well, my friends, I say we say goodbye from the hallway just outside of Londo's quarters at the start of this episode. And just as Londo is about ready to leave, but before he does, let's look out in the hallway. Is Lennier just hanging around waiting for somebody to come out? Or is everything exactly as it seems and he's just passing through? Friends, keep a secret until such time as we know more about Lennier and all of Babylon 5. Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.